Hey, let's talk. Haven't been on here in a while. During this pandemic, I had a lot to do. So I'm trying to give you some things that you can do. I don't own the rights to none of these music that are playing. I just love my old music by Dorothy. But I'm doing a book on what my grandmother gave me, a whole bunch of obituaries and pictures and stuff. I'm trying to put down backgrounds and stuff like that. So when the kids do Black history, they can have something that they can look back on when I'm gone. And they can see what kind of work I done and what I did in life, what I had pleasure of doing. I'm just showing you a little example of the first part of it going to always be my grandmother and my grandfather. I got to put his in there. I haven't put his in here yet, but I will be putting his in here. That is my grandmother, James Allen. She always started at the beginning because it starts with her and my grandfather. And I have her mother as well. It's going to be in here, and her husband. I have my daughter that I lost. I have my brother that I lost. But on top of that, when you put these pictures inside these books, you need to put their name, because they go back in the book after you're gone. Who was that? I don't know who that is. That's some of mama friends. So what I'm doing is, I got these little cards. What I do with those cards? Well, I cut little pieces off of them like this here. And I write a little something about that person on here. And what all I did, I got Big Man and his brother together, little stuff up on him, stuff that he did. He was a minister over the family and stuff. That's my son's grandfather. My cousin Tommy, and I got him and his dad together up on here. Kids need to know history. So when you're gone, they don't have to go back and the parents don't try to have to remember how to say what all you done in life. All the things that you done in life, you can tell them yourself by putting a little history in a book. During this pandemic, there's a lot of things you can be doing for history for your kids, your grandkids, your great-grandkids to come. And that's what I'm doing. I'm putting together a book. And even patients that I had a long time ago. That's Miss Ernestine from a long time ago. She was in the family. I have a whole lot. You'd be amazed at some of the things that I have. That's my little lady there. She used to fix us food all the time. She was a wonderful person. I loved it, Remy. And I'm going to have a background up on her. One of the ladies from the church. She passed away. Friends and family. I have a lot in here that you can put in your book. A lot. And I put little things by them, write little things about them, people who they were, what church they went to. You can put all that kind of stuff in there. I have a lot in here. A lot. I haven't finished writing, though, on each one of them. My friend Nikki, co-worker of mine, had lost her daughter. It's a lot in here. My daughter's uncle, he's good to my daughter when he was living, Pete Cummings. I have a whole lot in this book that I'm studying, doing things in here as I go along. So to give you something to do on this pandemic time. Put together something that is Black history for your children, your children's, on top of that can have when you're gone, so your children don't have to try to remember everything that you've done. You can write down like in the back of this book. I'm taking like 2 or 3 pages just for me. Back here in the back, saying all the work that I done in life, because I done worked hard. And I want them to know their history. I want them to know who their family are, everything. I got everything wrote out inside my books so they can know. I thank God for another day. And I'm just trying to give you something to do during this pandemic time, because a lot of folks is bored. They got nothing to do. There's more things to do besides sex and everything else, you know? So put something together that's history for your children. History is good. So whenever they do Black history, maybe they'll do Black history on you and say, that's my Black history. That's what my grandmother did. That's what my grandfather did when they was little, when they was young, when they was able to work. So you have some Black history. You know, I don't own the rights to none of this music that's playing. I love it. It's just on Pandora. That stuff is playing. Thank God for everything that He has blessed me with. I'm just trying to give you some, for instance, of some of the things that you could be doing, putting together for your children, your children's children. They can have a history, and that's going to be in my cabinet in my living room if anyone wants to look at it in the family. And I will be visiting and trying to get a little bit more background, a little bit more pictures, and I can print them out at home and put them all in this book so we can have a history. And I have my grandmother's Bible, and I put a lot of history in there for them. Even people that I worked for, how kind they was, how much I loved them, how much I cared for them. I'm putting them in my book as well. You know, today is a wonderful day. I've been feeling good these past few days. They be wondering why come I be taking off of work so much. I'm getting older. I only work what I can, my 3 nights, and that's it. I may go to work somewhere else. It'll just be somewhere that's a little bit easier. It's not going to be nothing that's going to be harder. Because when I retire, I'm going to retire from Houston Hospice. I'm just trying to give you a little, for instance, of some of the things that you could be doing to make history for your children and your children's children and family and friends and stuff like that. And don't forget to put something in there on yourself and what you did, who you was married to, how many times. Put all that in there. That's history. That's history for the kids. That's history so they can see these things when they get older. And they be trying to ask all these questions. And, you know, I have these books and I'm putting them together. My grandmother gave me a bunch of pictures of everybody. And I'm putting everything in the book. And I'm putting a little bit of history on there, the ones that I know about. Otherwise, I'm just going to say what my grandmother told me on there with my little paper inside the book. I don't know what I did with that. I got so much stuff up here. I got to move around stuff in my room. I'm just trying to give you a little history and to do for your kids and to help them to be able to explain what did grandma do? What kind of work did she do? Hey, I was just telling them about some history. I'm going to show you a little, for instance, I got here, okay? See my book? Got the brothers together. I wrote a little something on them. It's something that you can do in your spare time. Like some people be sitting up, and Gus and her husband. I got them in there. And you write something about them. That was her husband. That was her second husband. You write a little something about the people so the kids can know their history. Kids need to know their history. Maybe one day they go up there and do Black history on you. Because of what you did. How hard you worked in the past. That's something the kids need to know. Grandkids, even when you're dead and gone, that book will still be going on down to the future. So the kids can always see that. I want my kids and my great-grandkids and great-great-grandkids, all of them, to see all this stuff. But I have a lot of stuff inside this book. But James Anna Manning is going to always be in the front. That's where it started from. And I'm going to have her mom and all the rest of them, Aunt Betty and them, all of them is going to be in this book. I'm doing a book on everybody in the family that is gone from here. This is what this book is for. I'm doing this book so that we can have for the family. It's not just for my kids. It's for everybody to be able to look at, even when I'm gone. But I'm writing this stuff out. Gonna have it inside. Hey, thank you. Kids need to know this stuff. They do. Because a lot of folks is marrying one another and cousins going with one another and all that stuff. They need to know who family is. They need to know where it come from. They need to know. They really do. And if the Lord say the same, I'm letting the family know and ahead of time that we're going to have Easter in the country. We're not going to miss 2 years of Easter because there's plenty of room out there. Put your mask on. There's plenty of room to spread out. Everybody come out there and have a good time like we always do. And everybody bring some. But I'm going to make the announcements then in December so we'll know what everybody's going to bring. Because we got to keep the family together no matter what. You know, this pandemic done spread it out a lot of people. And people can't think about nothing else but sex. It's plenty of other things to do besides sex, okay? Put some history together for your kids. Put something so your kids can look back at. Your great-grandkids, your nieces and nephews. If you ain't got no kids, you got nieces and nephews, you got somebody. Put something in a book so people can look back at. And you know you got plenty of grandchildren. Now, don't you, girl? Looking like your mama Regina. But you need to put together something though. I thank God for the day. Thank God for every day that He has blessed me with. And you know, I work hard. I'm planning on retiring in 5 years. Because I want to enjoy life and I want to get up and travel. Ain't that right, Miss Vicky? You got to travel. That's what He wants you to do, travel, baby. If you're able, get up and there and go. Get up and there and go. Don't sit down. Don't let no pandemic hold you back, because whatever's meant for you is going to be meant for you. Because wherever I want to go, I'm going to go anyway. I just have a whole lot that I got to do with 2 houses. It's a whole lot up on a person, on a single woman like me, okay? So I have to work like I work, so. But I know one day I'm going to rest. But you need to put together a book. Put together a book for your children and grandchildren and all the rest of that stuff. So your kids can have that down to go down to their grandkids, to their children, their children's children, so they can look back and see what all you done in life. They can do Black history on you when you're gone. They'll know what you did. If you was a minister like you as Mr. Stern, do a book. Do something like upon yourself and all your children and their children's children. Get a Bible. Put who you're married to, all your wives, children's mothers, and everything in there. And we start putting all their kids in there so they can have their history. As my grandmother passed on to me. And that's what I do in my book that I have my grandmother had me to get. And she came to me about 1.5 years after she died and told me to go get the Bible. And I went down there to Brian and got that Bible, and I got it. Hi, Lucinda. Miss you. I love you, baby. But you need to put together a book for your kids, your grandkids, your nieces, your nephews, all that, so they can have this history of family. History is very important. You know, a lot of our ancestors, they worked it hard in the back in those days so we can get where we are today. This music does not, I don't own no rights to none of this music that's playing. This is what I'm playing at my house, okay? I can play what I want at my house. In the name of Jesus. Do a book. Do something for your children. Your children's children can look at. I'm saying this because I know, the Spirit is on me about this here, because I've been doing this here and doing this here. And I know a lot of people can be sitting at home. They're sitting at home. They ain't got nothing to do. Go buy you some photo albums from the store. CVS, I actually got it for free. I actually got that for free, really, because I done spent so much money up there. To my have like 40% off or 50% off every month. I go buy extra book to put all my pictures in, put the family history in, put all these art to my children and everything, everybody that I done worked for. I have a lot of stuff in here, and I have my dear sweet brother-in-law in here, Lucinda. And I'm going to do a write-up on him as well. Cherie misses her uncle. She cries all the time. I've been asking her to come out there. Well, that's between you and her. Y'all stubborn as heck. Just like Annie and niece, stubborn as heck. But anyway, it's another story. I'm not gonna get on that. Anyway, but do a book on your children's children to come. And Easter, the Lord said the same. We're gonna still have that in the country next year. Everybody get your bandanas or whatever you want to put on your mouth or whatever. There's plenty of room to spread out for the family to be out there because we are a family that beats together. We're not going to try to do anything this year. It's going to be next year. Me and Frederick already discussed it. He said he don't want to miss another year of us not being together. I believe in family. You know I believe in barbecues. Everybody can come. Children can play like they want to. Y'all know I ain't never been picky about my house or nothing else. I ain't never been picky like that. Kids can come and play and do whatever they want, you know. No, they ain't breaking my TVs, you know. But I'm going to buy a game system and put them in that other room over there for them kids to play with. But that's something that you can do in your spare time is get a book together. Put down your history. Put down what you've done so your kids or your grandkids can sit down and write history on you. And say that was my black history because our ancestors did a whole lot. They went through a whole lot through the cotton and all that stuff. I remember about the hay and all that stuff. I did all that stuff when I was little. They said, you too old for that, too young for that. I'm not too young. I lived without lights. We didn't have lights out there in that country. We had to go to the well for our water. We didn't even have a bathroom. We had an outhouse. We had to go to the outhouse. I'm not too young. I remember all that stuff. We had to churn up on things to make our own butter. We did the hogs. We made our own food out there. Our food was out there in the yard. I'm not too young for that. I remember all that, and I thank God for that, for having those hard times, because, see, I know how to survive if I didn't have lights. When I didn't have gas, I cooked in my backyard on the barbecue pit for 3 months. Didn't nobody know my gas was off. My water was off. I went around there to the other house and got me some water and brought it to the house. Nobody never knew. My house was still clean. I still kept everything straight. We still took our baths. We still did. We brushed our teeth. We still washed our face. You got to know how to survive. I thank God for going through that because, you know, I thank God for my ancestors, the things that they went through. So we can live better. So we need to put down our history for our children. You know, everybody, a lot of folks is putting down history to pass on down to their children. This is something that you need to do too. So sit down in your spare time. This pandemic time, take that time, make a book for your children. And I'm sorry for being on here so long because I ain't never been on here this long. Woo, Lord, I got to get out of here. But keep God first in all you do. Be slow to anger. Have patience and love and understanding. Get that blood pressure down. I thank God I don't take one blood pressure pill, and I rather do take that once a week because my blood pressure don't be like that. But keep God first in all you do. And we thank God for everything. And around by December, I'll be talking about Easter for next year because we planning on having it in the country. And there's plenty of room for everybody to spread out and do whatever you want. And, you know, we always have a good time when we together in the country because we love family. All right, that's Let's Talk today. I got to get up from here and make waves. And I got to finish doing on my book. Let me let you see another little sweet preview of my book, what I'm talking about. That's my mother's marriage license a long time ago. Woo, that's old. That is old. My cousin Big Man, you know. Do some books. Mother Hedge and her husband. I got a little bit up on them. Wrote a little bit on them. Who they are. And who their children were. Everything is there. You know. This is my cousin Lawrence and my cousin Brenda. You know. You need to have something for history for the kids. You know, you got to do that. We need history. History for the kids. And I will be making waves and going by to see people. Taking pictures to put more history in my books. to have this in my cabinet in there in my living room so everybody can see, and I have everything taped down so they can't be going in there just snatching nothing about my stuff, because this is for history for my kids and kids to come down. And you have to go to my children when I leave from here and go through them in order to see this book. But I'm going to put this book together and put names and everything up on here, who they kin to and everything, and how they kin to us, and who father it was. Okay? All right, that's Let's Talk. And I don't own the rights to none of this music, but I enjoy it. And y'all have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.